I became vice president. They had 120 Detroit homes, and I managed those rentals.
For people that don't know, like with projects that big, they don't all go. You have
Right.
some great ones, you have some bad ones.
I feel flipping full time. You're rich one day and broke the next.
Who are you? What do you do? All that good stuff.
Thank you, man. My name's Todd Chunn. My market's in Detroit, Michigan, all of Michigan, actually. And I'm a wholesaler, man. That's what I do. I had flips, rentals, all that good stuff, but wholesale and hotel right now.
Cool, dude. Yeah, I'm stoked to have you on here. I know we were trying to arrange it before, but you were buying a 55 unit apartment building at the time, so we had to push.
Yes.
So I know you do wholesale. I know you're a broker. We'll unpack all this stuff because I think you have a tremendous amount of value to offer people, man. You do a lot of cool stuff. How'd you get started in all this?
Good question, man. I started canvassing, knocking on doors in Detroit back in the day for a home improvement company. And they had a mortgage company, and I became vice president, man. I was there 23 years, and they had 120 Detroit homes, and I managed those rentals. So I learned Detroit really well. I grew up in Detroit, and so I already knew it, but that was my thing. Everything we did was in Detroit. And I used to run back in the refi days, I was running 12 appointments a day, face to face, one house to the next, and doing refinances. It was crazy times. And then the market crashed, and I became vice president and got rid of 25 employees, and my income got cut 50 grand a year. They took away my car, all that good stuff. Heard about wholesaling on a TV commercial or radio commercial. They're coming to Detroit. We're going to show you how to flip, right? I said, free. So I went into there and they talked about wholesaling. And within 3 months, I wholesaled my first deal, and I daisy chained it actually. I
Yeah.
just found a buyer, hooked them together, made a few bucks. And within 3 months, I quit my job and just went all in.
That's cool. When was that? Like, how long ago was that?
January 1st, 2017.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, you can't forget that date.
Yeah, I can't forget it. Yeah, it was crazy. And then I learned, man, I got stories to tell people what not to do. I learned the hard way.
And
And
that's
yeah,
why they
so
call you the mayor of Detroit, huh?
yeah, we're doing 12 flips at a time. We had a property management company, just way too much.
Yeah.
And I was still wholesaling and whatever else.
I kind of want to open that. I want to jump into that because I've been there too.
Right.
Tons of flips and all this stuff going on. And people like on social media think they're like, man, this is awesome. This is what I want to do. But dude, what kind of like obligations and stress comes on with 12 flips at a time?
Yeah, and put it in Detroit, Michigan, man, where, the furnace are getting stolen and all that stuff and contractors and everything. It's crazy. It's impossible. That's what it was way too much. If I do one at a time now,
Yeah.
that's it. It's one at a time.
We were talking yesterday on our Hotels call about preserving capital.
Yeah.
And the seasoned guys in there, I was gonna say gals, but there's no gals in there. The seasoned guys in there yesterday were like, yep, everybody's just shaking their head because they've been there. And
Yeah.
dude, that's awesome you made it through that.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, like with projects that big, they don't all go good. You
Right.
have some great ones, you have some bad ones, you have money management. We're in the money management business at that point,
Yeah.
you know,
100%.
cash conversion cycle, like hoping this is gonna like that's some stressful ass stuff.
Yeah, I feel flipping full time. You're rich one day and broke the next. It's tough. I went in. I do like hotel is the way to go, in my opinion now. Fixing a house and make it get in, get out.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell other even flippers. I was at a meetup last night and I'm like, man, you're crazy.
Like literally at the end of the day, if they have a back office showing them their actual numbers, because I've seen these from lots of people, they're not making any money. They're staying busy and they're keeping their contractors busy and they're keeping the hamster wheel going. It's pump the brakes and get profitable. Even if you do one deal, I don't give a crap. Do one deal in 3 months that's a banger, like a hotel or something, and you'll crush 10 probably that you did if you look at all of them.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
I'm very fortunate to know a lot of high level operators, and that's all they do is
Yeah,
wholesales. Now
right.
they're doing the volume, really big volume, but it's more. I introduced you to one of them in the group that it was from tax liens, but they're getting them for a couple grand a piece. I've
Right.
introduced you to a couple people, but yeah, man. So now you're wholesaling primarily. What does your team look like?
It's actually me and my son. That's why I was asking you those questions about your assistant. So I'm working on getting him, I call him the operations manager. I want to get him to doing everything that I should not be doing pretty much. And that's really where it's going right now. It will help me, it will help him. And that's
Yeah,
all I need. I had big teams before. I had VAs.
yeah,
And like you said, being profitable.
yeah,
It's I make more money by myself. That's just the way it works well for me.
yeah.
Not by myself, like with my son or with a small team. And I'm happier that way too.
I think it's smart. People think it's cool. And if they can pull it off, cool. But that's a
Right.
long-term deal. I got a buddy, I don't know how many employees he has at this time. And he's not a wholesaler. He's just, they do like private equity. They do all sorts of finance crap. His
Right.
goal is to have $1 billion company or something like that. So they're hiring out the ass. And people don't realize like that is a long-term play. It's not like you just have
Right.
this big ass team and you're just banking. You lose your ass for a lot of years. So I
Yeah.
think it's smart, dude, to be lean as hell. And then you're like, okay, this was what works. So I've been there too. I've had big teams. I've had tons of VAs, tons of Americans, this, that, and the other. And I did the same exact thing. I
Yeah.
was like, we getting out of
Right.
here. We getting profitable. And then we slowly getting VAs. Like I was telling you the other day, I think the biggest, most important, just personally, I could be wrong, first hire outside is like, if you're gonna get a VA as like an executive assistant, anybody, five
Yeah.
bucks an hour, like they handle all the minutia. You can't.
That's what I was gonna do. That's what I'm doing with my son right now. He's a licensed agent. We got a small office and he can handle all that and then see where he wants. He's young,
Yeah,
so see if he wants to keep it going. I think he does. If not, that's cool too. Like you said, I could just get a VA. Yeah, because that's a lot of stuff I do during the day right now I shouldn't be doing.
yeah,
And with my business, man, I look at it this way. If I could do one of these things a day, either a signed contract, an assignment, one a day. This is all I need. One of those, a closing, I'm gonna do really well.
yeah.
You know,
Less stress
so
and no stress.
no stress. It's a lot of work just to do one. And then once in a while, I'm doing two a day or three a day or five a day. It just depends. This is what I love to do. I work every day, all day long. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I think you have like really cool experience to share with this stuff too. You door knock, you're doing wholesaling, you're doing flips. I remember
Yeah.
you said you were looking at a lot to maybe put a mobile home on. How's that looking?
Yeah, I got a lot. That's a lot of work. It's 2.5 hours away from where I'm at.
Yeah,
So I do have some people interested in that lot. I'll just pass it on to the next person to do that.
yeah,
Yeah, eventually I want to get rentals. I used to have a bunch of rentals and things in that nature. I bought a dumpster company in 2019, and that saved me from COVID. During COVID, I was an essential worker. I was still able to wholesale and run the dumpster company. And I have 15 dumpsters. It's paid for. And that was like my rental. Every time that dumpster moves, I make money. And it moves 4 or 5 times a day. So
I like that you said that rentals, and I like to just, I always like to share because I've I screwed up so much, and I like to share stuff I learned too because it's cool. And maybe other people are like, no, this way, we're all here to just talk shop. And it's, if I had to do it over, I would have put some extra zeros at the end of my deals, my rentals. It's like
yeah,
these one single family offs, you got to have 1,000 of them to make any money. And people don't realize it. Don't get me wrong. Like back in the day, bigger pockets would be like, hey, don't buy for appreciation. But that's bullcrap. If you're going to buy single families, it better be for appreciation because that
right.
$200 cash flow ain't doing nothing.
In Detroit, there was a time you could pick up a nice brick bungalow for 30 grand and you could rent it out at that time. Now they're 13, 1,400 a month, but at that time you could rent it for 1,000. And you weren't getting appreciation, but you're getting way more than $200 a month. And it's still that way. And I guess I'm just Detroit's in my brain, but
It's like
yeah,
that in South Texas. Same way. You get a $30,000 house and get $1,000 a month rent. I bought a ton of those.
yeah,
It's cool for the first 10 years, and then you gotta fix everything all the time.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I was like, damn. At first,
yeah,
I'm like, I look like a genius for a while. I was like, damn, I wish. And then I got buddies, South Florida. They're buying stuff. We'd be like, you're crazy. But they're paying to have it, but they're appreciating $200,000 a year. I'm
yeah,
like, damn, I called y'all that, but who
yeah,
actually did it?
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
So that's why I'm a big
yeah,
fan of like multifamily and mobile home parks, apartments like you got. You've done a lot of wholesaling. You got a lot of experience. You've been around. What kind of advice do you have for like people that want to maybe get in wholesaling? Maybe they're in it and they want to do better.
yeah. I was in it since 2017. And then I started just recently within the last year. I joined your group. I joined another mentor's best decisions I ever made.
Yeah,
And now I'm not even looking for another group to join, just the networking.
yeah,
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 I got so many people. I got a call today. I hear you're the guy in Detroit. I do.
yeah.
That's half my business is referrals just from other wholesalers. But yeah, just doing it the right way. Don't ever, you got to be able to sleep at night and team up with people like you and yeah, learn how to do it the right way for sure.
Networking, dude, is, in my opinion, number one. Number
Yeah.
freaking one. And that's another reason I made that wholesales group. Not to plug my own crap here, but like now I'm looking for like high level members like yourself to come in because, and that I know, because that's what it is. It's like, it's all network. We all have something to offer. Like whatever it is, we're all so different. And I
Yeah.
think you get a lot of that in a room
Yeah.
is lights out.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. I've done a few what are they, sub twos?
yeah,
Not my favorite, man. I would not do it. There's just so many things that could go wrong for the end buyer or seller rather.
yeah.
And just not my favorite. I don't suggest it unless there's just the only option. And then I'll make sure they understand what could go wrong. But so yeah, wholetailing, eventually picking up some other things, not just single families, multi 4 units. I would love to get a vacant land and fence it in, store boats, trailers, dumpsters. I think there's things in that nature.
It's funny you said sub two. You know what I like strategy? The best strategy I like that sub two is when you sell your property. So far, when you sell property sub two that you own. So
Right.
I got a story. I have 3 rentals. I made a lot of money on these. I bought them very cheap. That was an appreciating area, luckily. I
Okay.
cashed out, got a lot of money back, which was cool. And then I
Yeah.
just rented them out for several years after that. And then I'm like, the market's not doing anything anymore. It just stopped. I just got lucky in that little pocket I was in. And I was like,
Right.
damn, like these aren't doing anything anymore, but they got really good interest rates, like 3 and 4%, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had a buddy that wanted some rentals. And I was like, look, I'll sell you a portfolio sub two. Give me the cash up front, the equity, and you could have this badass interest rate. And I was like, they're not going to appreciate, but you're going to go buy stuff anyway. You're not getting this interest rate. And so I got like retail price.
Yeah.
But as a buddy, so I didn't have,
Yeah.
I
Right.
felt good and it was easy.
And if he goes bad, it's a win for you also. You'll
Yeah.
just work something out and get him back and do it again.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
what I figured. So I was like,
Yeah.
damn, you know what? That's probably the route for a sub two. And I've done it with partnerships too that I didn't want anymore. I was like, hey, just
Yeah.
pay me my equity and we'll figure that out.
Yeah. Partnerships, that's one piece of advice. Be careful,
Yeah.
maybe partner per deal, not business wise. I see a lot of wholesalers, especially new, and they got 3 partners.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, 6 months from now, you guys are not going to be together. You just can't make enough money in the beginning like that. So that, it's just something everyone has to learn one way or the other. They'll learn it.
Glad you said that because profit margins, let's say you have a 50% profit margin. Let's just say, which, you do way better wholesale, but let's just say a good ass
Yeah.
business, like overall is 50%. If you have a partner, or if you have 2 partners, it's over with. There's nothing
Right.
you can do. You're going to keep doing that number.
Yeah.
How'd you get that apartment complex, that 55 unit?
Yeah, so that came from another wholesaler, back 2 years ago. This is a long time.
Yeah.
And it got messy. And then it ended up in court, not because of our side, because of another buyer through another wholesaler when we had it locked up. So, anyway, long story short, that got all settled. And then the guy called me after the fact
Yeah.
and said, I'm ready. Actually, me and the owner are cool still. I invited him to a meetup yesterday. He couldn't make it. He wants to learn this a little bit. Yeah, that's how it's just from networking.
So the owner, the dude you bought it from, wants to learn. That's
Yeah,
awesome. So
yeah,
you essentially have another big buyer if you find something.
yeah. Or he has the money. If I needed some money, I could partner with him.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of different things. He pretty much trusts me pretty well. He calls me all the time on other things. Still, it's only been a few weeks, but he goes, "Hey, I got a question about something else."
That's awesome, dude. And like I said, Todd, I appreciate you coming on. This is cool, dude. Where can people find you?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page, like a group page, TC Deals Detroit. There's probably 6,000 members on there. I let other wholesalers post their deals, all that good stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm going to get more active. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, but more active on trying to help more buyers, more or less wholesalers. But in all my social media is TODD. My middle initial is V, as in Vernon. So Todd V Chunn 313. That's the area code. Is pretty much all my socials. Todd V Chunn 313.
Awesome, man. And I guess if people have deals in Michigan, they can just hit you up, huh?
Yeah, you could my cell is 248-497-9195. Facebook message or text, call, whatever's the best. And yeah,
Cool, dude. Appreciate the hell out of you and look
thank you.
forward to dropping this. So much value and have a good rest of your day, brother.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.